Good evening. It has been 9 months since I last uploaded a video. 9 months. Now don't worry, I'm not pregnant. Don't worry, I haven't taken 9 months off for maternity leave, which is technically the wrong word for me because I'm a man and maternity is for women and paternity is for men. Anyways, regardless of that, a 9-month period of not uploading videos, let me just quickly give you a rundown as to why that happened. I was just busy. I was busy with work. I'm working as a full-time teaching assistant in a school, and it's every single day. I'm waking up, going into work, helping kids, basically just trying to achieve their fullest potential. Is it an easy job? No. Am I a particularly good teaching assistant, or TA as the short slang? I don't think I am. Some people like to big me up. I wouldn't say I'm any good. Regardless, that's been happening, and also social things like for a BU. Must admit, it's for about a month or so. I was in a short-term relationship, but it didn't work out. I'm not here for people to cry me a river about it. It was my fault it didn't work out. It was better for her if it didn't work out, because she can actually find someone more suited to her. Anyways, apart from that, apart from work, apart from going out, seeing friends, conventions, I have been a busy little bunny. Now, before we get into talking about the video, if you actually watch the footage behind you, A, you'll notice how long the video is, so be warned, I'm going to be rambling a lot, but B, this first clip where I'm inside this massive fort essentially going on a one-man killing rampage, it kind of jumps and skips it in bits. It has just weird, awkward 5 to 10 second jumps in the footage, which you may see like that, just right there. That wasn't a design choice, that wasn't intentional. It's just I entered this fort, originally wanted to do a stealthy run, and when the combat started I thought, just screw it, let's just go with this, and I didn't realise it would go on for so long, to the point where the footage was actually glitching or cutting itself down just so it could fit in to my hard drive. But regardless of all that, one final disclaimer before we get into disclaimers about the topic we're talking about. There is a lot of legalism here, we must get through that. Is I have a new headset, so my microphone is right up to my mouth. If that makes my voice sound clearer, then I will use that in the future. If that makes my voice sound more annoying, to the point where you can hear every single particle of air both entering and exiting my lungs, let me know and I will find a different headset. But regardless of that, now we are actually getting on to the topic. I'm pretty sure by the title of the video and by the footage you're seeing, it doesn't take Sherlock Holmes to work out what this video is going to be about. It's actually going to be about Sonic the Hedgehog. I know that is a departure from the norm of what we've done, and I'm an idiot because that was a poor attempt at a joke. Regardless, what we are actually going to be talking about is Assassin's Creed Origins. Oh wait, did I say Origins? Because from how I thought Odyssey should have been, this technically could have, or rather should have been, the origins of the Assassin's Order. Oh, but wait, I'm sorry. This is a game where it's frankly fairly disconnected from the Assassin's Creed lore and other aspects of the Assassin's Creed franchise, to the point where I am seriously questioning why they have attached the name Assassin's Creed to this game. Why have Ubisoft made this an Assassin's Creed game? Regardless, that is a point I want to expand on later in the video, but let me make some disclaimers again. some disclaimers about talking about Assassin's Creed. I have not completed the game. I've roughly spent about 20 to 22 hours inside the game, like doing side quests and story missions. I'm playing as Alexios. I'm modelling myself in more of a combat build, and in terms of siding with either Athens or Sparta, I'm more siding with Sparta. Just because this is Sparta. Because they are there, that is why. So, don't expect me to talk about things like the ending or endings of the game, because I know this game has multiple endings. I've just not got through the entire thing, and even if I did, it would be unfair for me to talk about that, because not everyone's going to experience it. Anyways, enough of that out of the way. What do I think of Assassin's Creed Odyssey? I think overall it's a visually good looking game. I do quite like the soundtrack, the way it flares in at times. Do I like the setting? Truth be told, yes. That was a major reason for me picking up this game. Like, I saw the trailers, I saw the E3 demo, I had mixed feelings about it, because from what I could see, it was quite detached from previous Assassin's Creed games. It seemed like it was quite detached from the overall Assassin's Creed lore. It's just the whole ancient Greek setting really was clawing into the back of my skull. Like, just, you need to go back, you need to turn the clock this far back to experience it, to live it. There was a fascination there within me about seeing ancient Greece. I think if you've grown up particularly in the West, and if you've studied philosophy, then you kind of want to see what the ancient Greek world was like, especially when you do meet famous ancient Greeks. Just to name a few that you do meet, at least in the early to early mid-game section: Herodotus, the father of history, or the acclaimed father of history; Socrates, one of the most famous, if not the most famous, classical philosopher in the world, despite all his works never have been written down. Instead, his works are kind of voiced through his student Plato. Sure, philosophy lesson aside, I really wanted to go back and just see this whole world for what it was, especially the Peloponnesian War, like Greece in this massive semi-Cold War kind of state. But what turned me off of this game, especially when I was looking at it from the E3 demo, it seemed to be building off of Assassin's Creed Origins' combat system, but it just seemed to be so pointless, because AC Origins was the origins of the Assassin's Creed. It was telling you like how the Assassin Order and how the Templar Order started out respectively. But now we've got this game which goes further back in time to be set before Origins, in a fairly different part of the world, to tell a completely different story. Like, just why? So, with all this being said, I can summarize my opinion of Assassin's Creed Odyssey right now in a few short sentences, and then I'll try to expand upon them. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, it is a fairly good open world action RPG. It's a fairly enjoyable one. Like, I've been going back to it day after day, not feeling forced that I have to, actually wanting to sit down, play this game, explore the world, complete some side quests, get into big battles, or at least just go on Athenian or even Spartan killing rampages, and just build up my character. However, this is one of the poorest excuses of a video game to have the Assassin's Creed label slapped to it. Like, this is just one of the poorest, and that is saying a lot. Now, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, in its own ways, was and wasn't an Assassin's Creed game. It strode that, like, that in between, that line in between being a full Assassin's Creed game and not being a full Assassin's Creed game, like just having Assassin's Creed lobbed to its name. But it toes that line, it toed that balance, whereas Odyssey throws that all out the window, and I'll explain why. There is no assassins in this game. There is no Templars in this game. There is a secret society in this game, who I'm not going to spoil. I'm not going to give you their name because I don't want to spoil it. They're simply referred to as the Cult. That is their shortened name. I'm not going to give you their full name. But hardly any of what this cult so far does in the game, hardly what any of the members believe in or stand for, has anything to do, is hardly related in any way to what would be the Order of Ancients in Assassin's Creed Origins, or even the Templar Order of the previous Assassin's Creed games. It is mind-boggling to the point of I want to take down this cult, because I like the idea of hunting down a secret society, tracking down their members, killing them, and, you know, eliminating them, because hopefully that will make things better in the world. But I can't be expected to feel the same way about this cult as I did about the Templars, when the Templars, they made it clear, like, how they are bad for the world, or at least bad in the Assassin's perspective. They see the way to peace through order and control. This cult, you just hear every now and again, they control things, they have their hands in every pocket, they you know, do this and this. But when I go through the world, I hardly ever see anything. So there are a few times I see things, like when I went to one of these smaller Greek isles, where I got caught up in a little battle between like a rebel faction and Athenians, and a small Athenian garrison or unit that was actually being led by a cult leader who did some things in his past, but then it never explains why he did what he did. It just says, oh, he did this terrible thing, you should feel no sympathy, no remorse to him, now go kill him. Okay, why did he do that though? It's all well and good telling me someone did something bad, but the context behind it matters a lot, because here I'm running around Greece just like dropping bodies left, right and centre, and yet I'm supposed to feel good about my actions. But I know why I'm feeling good about my actions, because I understand my motivations behind them. But where I'm just tracking down this cult, it makes no sense. But that's just one tangent of what's wrong with this game. Another tangent that the online community has rightfully voiced their opinion about is the microtransactions and the time savers and the XP boosts. You can literally go into the store in the game, all you just have to do is press the options button or the touchpad, or if you're on the Xbox you press whatever button, or same on PC you press whatever key to go into the pause menu, press another button to go into the store section, and then boom, you can spend your real world money on leveling time savers, on XP time savers, on item time savers like crafting items that you can use to craft a ship or craft extra perks onto particular weapon or armor pieces. That is just some dodgy, shady practice. Like, I'm gonna be a hypocrite when I say this, because I did at least pick up the gold edition, because I figured even if Odyssey is a bit of a mixed game or even a bit of a bad game, Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered is coming down the line, and as much as I can have criticisms about that game, I still love it overall, and it's still a proper Assassin's Creed game, so I can go back and play that when it comes out. As for getting Liberation, or rather Assassin's Creed Liberation Remastered, or Remastered Ubisoft Boogaloo as I'm gonna call it, because that game's been remastered twice, which is just mad to think about. At least I'm getting decent to fairly good Assassin's Creed games where there's not gonna be microtransactions for XP, you know, time savers. There's not going to be any microtransactions partway through the story of Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered where it's going to say, we see you are at the point in Connor's life where he's trying to become an assassin. Give us 10 extra pounds and you can jump straight to the point where Connor becomes an assassin. That is the most illogical sounding thing, but yet in Assassin's Creed Odyssey you can literally pay money to say, I am currently sitting at level 23, halfway through the XP bar to get to level 24. I can pay some money to either get double XP or time save and just jump a level. But yet this game has a little Easter egg hidden inside, mocking EA's sense of pride and accomplishment scandal when it came to how they responded to their microtransactions in Star Wars Battlefront. Ubisoft, you're being hypocritical here. You're being hypocritical. Apart from that, there's other reasons why I am not keen on calling Odyssey an Assassin's Creed game, or at least saying that it's not a true Assassin's Creed game. I know I've rambled incoherently for a bit, but now here's where my thoughts become more coherent, and you're going to want to follow me here. This morning when I woke up, I actually watched LazerzZ, or however I pronounce or say his name. I watched his video on Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and it came out 6 days ago. I'll be sure to put a link to it in my description so that you could go and watch it. But he makes a lot of good points, being that he's like in the top echelon of the Assassin's Creed community. Like, he's involved in all the major events, he's always following like the news updates, and he seems like a very decent guy. Seems like a very decent to a good guy. So I'm not here to try and rip off of what he said. I'm not here to critique what he says. What I am here to say is that he has made some extremely good points, and in his video he points out that back when Assassin's Creed as a series first started, that they had like a list of rules, like their own 10 commands. In fact, it was literally called the 10 Commandments of the Assassin's Creed franchise, which, FYI, in this day of political correctness, is cultural appropriation of my culture, Judaism. You cannot just make a list of 10 rules and call it the 10 Commandments. That is cultural appropriation, and I'm joking about that. I hate people. I hate politically correct people, and if I get a chance to mock them, I will mock them. Regardless though. James, or his YouTube name LazerzZ, or LazerzZ, whichever one it is, he goes through in his video and he points out that Assassin's Creed Odyssey only gets 2 of the 10 Assassin's Creed commandments right. Like, the main ones, the main commandments that this game has forsaken, like that the game is always supposed to have 2 warring factions, 2 secret organizations warring against each other, Assassins and Templars. But yet there is no assassins in this game. Sure, you can go down the assassin skill tree. Sure, you can equip assassin items like an assassin hood, assassin waistband and all that. And you can sit there and say to yourself, oh, but yeah, I am an assassin. I am the first assassin. But no. In the lore, overall, canonically, Alexios or Cassandra, they're not the first assassins. They're not the first assassins. Technically, in lore's sake, Darius was the first assassin, or at least the first one to use assassin-like methods, but then Bayek and Aya were the first assassins, establishing the Hidden Ones organization, which then later becomes the Assassins organization, or the Assassin's Brotherhood. But in this game, I'm just Alexios or Cassandra, a bounty hunter, a mercenary, just running around completing contracts for people. And there's no emphasis on being socially stealthy, of not harming the innocent. Like, sure, I will have some cutscenes where characters will turn to me and say, yeah, you should try and do this quietly, you know, try not to harm anyone. But seriously, Assassin's Creed 1, Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, 3, Black Flag, to the best of my knowledge, Unity. Even Unity, a game in this franchise that is mocked, quite rightfully so, still follows the basic assassin principle of you shall not harm the innocent, you shall uphold the Assassin's Creed. Like, if you start going out and killing innocent in everything from Assassin's Creed 1 to Unity, you actually get desynchronized. You die. Like, the game says, no, you've killed too many civilians. We're gonna have to punish you and reset you to like an autosave checkpoint. Whereas in Odyssey, and this is no joke, I can literally run around and just murder, brutalize, assault every single Greek person in my sight. Now, some people will turn around and say, yeah, but that's to deal with the RPG elements, you know. That is to reflect upon the RPG nature of the game. But yet, from everyone else who's played this game for longer than me, they've turned around as even LazerzZ, I'm just going to call him LazerzZ, even he in his video turned around and said he's gone on mass killing sprees. It doesn't change the outcome of the story. You'll have like small decision moments, and depending on how you do some quests, and like sometimes who you kill, what you choose to do, it will affect the story and it will determine which ending you get. But apart from that, you can literally just be the biggest homicidal freak the Greek world has ever seen, and yet the story will not reflect it. Now, one area of the game that everyone's been praising is the naval combat. I'm 50-50 about it. I'm honestly 50-50 about the naval combat in this game. Some people will turn around to me, like even Angry Joe will turn around and say they loved it, it's epic. I'm a mixed fan of it. The crafting in this game ruins too much of the naval combat, because in order to craft anything on your ship, you need, you know, like metal, wood, animal material. So, like, you're probably saying, oh, but what's the big deal? one other thing you need is apparently ancient tablets. You need ancient tablets to craft better shields for my crew on my ship. I need ancient tablets to improve my ship's hull armor. What in the blue hell is this? What in the actual blue hell is this? Unless these ancient tablets was like one of the stone tablets that Moses apparently either broke or lost on top of Mount Sinai, which so happens to be footnotes on how Noah built his ark. Why do I need stone tablets to craft my ship? It is the most pointless and most negating feature ever. So now I've got to go running around either buying up or looting these ancient tablets everywhere I go just so I can craft my ship. And even when I do craft my ship, it makes no difference. Like every other ship I encounter against, even if I go into waters near the starting island, they all, like just lob arrows at me. You could be saying, oh, but I'm playing on hard, but this really brings me into another issue about this particular game. Now, Assassin's Creed Origins had scaling enemies, or had enemy leveling system, sure. So when you start off in the Siwa Oasis, you were like level 1. All the enemies were level 1. By the time you reached Alexandria, you got to like level 12. So the enemies in Alexandria better reflected the level you were at. But if you journey back to the Siwa Oasis, the enemies were level 1. Whereas in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, every enemy's level scales with you, which is the most quite ridiculous game design choice I can ever see, because a lot of these enemies you'll even see in this battle scene clip, and even if you rewind back to when I was storming and attacking that fortress, all the enemies are damage sponges. Every one of them just soaks up damage. Now if you put this into context of enemies level up with you, so whenever you go to level 30, enemies around you become level 30. If I go to level 50, enemies get leveled to level 50. It's not to do with the area you're in, it's just to do with your level. I'm sitting there thinking, surely this cannot be. So that means I can't go back to previous areas of the game and try to engage in naval combat or even fortress combat or whatever, to maybe like have an easier time but get like lower level loot I can either sell off. Instead, if I go back to the starting island or the starting area of the game, all the enemies there, they are gonna be on equal footing with me. So it makes no sense to have the leveling system in the game if whenever I level up, everyone levels up, because you're essentially saying we're all on the same level. If that's the case, scrap the leveling system, go back to the way the previous Assassin's Creed games were, and just give us equipment to unlock, just give us a story to progress through. This game, I do quite like playing this game. I do like engaging in battles like these. They make me feel quite good. I do quite like how the combat flows, even if all the enemies are damage sponges. I hate the voice acting though. Like, I'm not gonna say it's terrible, it's just so meh. It really is just so meh. Like, that's nothing to do with the ancient or even just the Greek accents in general. It's to do with, it feels like Alexius only has one emotion. just the plain blank mute emotion of I want money, I want this. Like, even when I engage in like some of the more romantic scenes, the way Alexios delivered his lines of like trying to be romantic and just like chuckling and laughing, it just felt so forced. It reminded me of like that Final Fantasy X meme of just the main character doing that overly awkward laugh. It really did. It just put me on edge. Oh my goodness. The voice acting. The support cast have more emotion than Alexios or Cassandra, which, if you're getting that problem, then maybe you don't need this whole choose your character, choose what they say kind of thing. Instead, just write a single story. Write a single story with a single character. I wouldn't have minded playing as Cassandra. Like, if the game was just about Cassandra's story, I wouldn't have minded playing as that. I would have thought it was been historically inaccurate for like a Greek woman like to be like this very fierce warrior that could travel all across Greece, given how Persia was actually a bit more of an open and equal place for women rather than ancient Greek city-states. Regardless, I would not have minded playing a good, well voice acted, well scripted Cassandra. I would have preferred that over a fairly mediocre, fairly average performance by the voice actor for Alexios and Cassandra, just because they have to reflect each other. The leveling system, that annoys me. The fact that this game sacrifices most of its core idea, most of its lore, just for this game to exist. And overall, just the direction this franchise is going. I've got no doubt that the guys that make this game put a lot of time and effort into making this game. That's fine. I respect them for that. This just is not an Assassin's Creed game. I'm still gonna enjoy it. I'm probably gonna go play it. Like, that's if I don't go and play the new Spider-Man DLC that's come out, which, by the way, Spider-Man for PS4, oh my goodness, do you need to get that game. You need to seriously go out, buy that game. If you don't have a PlayStation 4, go and buy a PS4 and play that game. In fact, I might go do a video on Spider-Man actually, just as a comparison to this. Seriously, I will, but regardless, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, it always leaves me conflicted whenever I play it. I do enjoy my time playing it, but it's not a proper Assassin's Creed game. Like, I do want an awesome story with a badass character who's like, how do I put this? He's socially capable. He's a good fighter. He knows how to be stealthy. I want a cool story like that, where that kind of character, he's an assassin, like taking on the Templars from behind the shadows in various historical time periods to help the Assassin's cause, but then assassins in the modern day to use that to try and continue the fight in the modern day. That's what I want. There's hardly any modern day in this game. You get some outside time, but you can't even choose to exit the Animus. A bit like Assassin's Creed 2, but Assassin's Creed 2 did its modern day segments better. Like, Assassin's Creed 2's modern day segments actually progressed dead with the story. You went on training sections, then you did the whole bleeding effect. Here, the only one I've seen, you just wake up, just to walk around this one room, talk to this one person, then you go back in. It's heartbreaking to see what Assassin's Creed has become. Personally, this franchise should not have gone down the action RPG route. There's a reason Assassin's Creed 2 will always be the best game in this series, because it truly lived up to most of the tenets of this game. I have rambled a lot. I'm probably going to make a part 2 to this. In fact, I will make a part 2 to this, talking more about what Assassin's Creed has lost But I thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time, and leave criticisms and comments for me and Assassin's Creed below. Like, if you want to critique me or the franchise, go ahead and do it. Thank you very much. Goodbye.